Some people are born explorers. They have great navigation skills and a sense of direction. Others don't mind following their gut and having faith that they will just make it back to where they want to be. I've said in numerous videos that I want to explore new locations for landscape photography, but how do I do this without getting lost and potentially not finding my way back to the car? In today's video, I am packing light and heading out on 2 wheels to try out a new app, which will hopefully be the answer to exploring more of the South Downs National Park. I hope you enjoy. Well, good morning. It's 5:15 in the morning, which meant a 4:30 alarm clock, and today we're exploring new locations. So as you can tell from my general background, this morning I'm out on the South Downs National Park. This particular part is West Sussex, and in the background is Devil's Dyke, which is where I'm making my way to now. There are a couple of electricity pylons. If you're in the right position, you can actually kind of get them all to line up. It's not something I would traditionally photograph because I think sometimes they're a bit of a distraction, but if you make a photograph where they're the focal point, maybe it could work. Essentially, what sparked this idea is boredom. I'm just a bit bored of going to the same locations year on year. Sure, you get different conditions, you get storms and you get awesome sunrises and sunsets, but you personally get bored of the location. So I made a commitment earlier on this year. I'm going to go out in more turbulent weather. This morning I've already got rained on. Good example. And then secondly, going to go to new locations. It's just to kind of get a bit more inspiration, and I think I'll find that from going to new places. Supposedly there's a path that leads up that way, which I think is kind of diagonally through that field. I think what I'll do is I'll follow these telegraph poles because they are clearly marked out on the map and it's an obvious visual reference. Another reason that I've sparked this want to do more exploring of locations is shooting woodland. So this year I've already made a video about bluebells, wild garlic. I might make some others. And essentially some of the woods that I go to have 0 phone signal. So of course, most of them are a good drive away from me, half an hour to an hour, and I park my car up somewhere. I have to find my way back to the car, and I cannot therefore get lost. If I was lost right now on my bike, I'd be quite comfortable with that. I'd just keep on cycling until I find something that I recognise, because I don't have to find my way back to the beginning. I can kind of loop around. I've got to find my way back to the car most of these times, but I want to explore. It's kind of, there's a lot of fun in exploring and getting lost. However, some of these places have no phone signal, and I just think I'm going in completely the wrong direction. I'll turn back, or I'll just continue to go to the same places again and again. It's mainly about woodland. When you come to places like this, it's a lot more difficult to get lost. And what this video is about is what is the best way to explore a new location. There's a certain amount of excitement in going to a place for the first time that is kind of being ruined by my anxiety of just getting lost and not being able to find my way back to the car. So today I'm experimenting using the OS Map app to find new locations. I mentioned that I'm going to Devil's Dyke earlier. Yes and no, I'm actually trying to find a place called Edburton Hill. And when I say exploring new locations, I'm not necessarily just talking about honeypot locations or easy, obvious places that other people have already found. I'm talking about going out on your bike with or without a camera and genuinely trying to find locations and compositions that have never been shot before. If you are a local landscape photographer, then you'll probably relate to this. If you shoot the South Downs National Park a lot, eventually you'll start to join up the dots, metaphorically. Let's just say you go to Devil's Dyke. In that view, you'll see Edburton Hill that I'm going to today. If you go to Barmer Farm in Lewes, you'll see in the background, oh, you've got Kingston Ridge, you've got Swanborough Hill. You'll slowly, because these are all quite high vantage points, you'll go to a location and you think, oh, I recognise that. Oh, of course, I shot it from the other side. And I'm here. I usually drive to these places. I've been on plenty of cycle rides, but I've never come this way for fear of getting lost. This camera is not going to do any justice, and the weather is not perfect this morning. I'm not expecting any epic photographs, but as you can see here on the camera, there are these electricity pylons. And standing here, you can probably get about 10 of them all in a row. and then I've got this path and this fence leading you to it. It's not the sort of thing I would normally shoot, but if you had good light, I think that this is a good location. I'm going to bookmark this using the What 3 Words app. If you're not using the What 3 Words app, you don't know what it is. Essentially, it's a free app that divides the entire planet into 3-meter grids. So therefore, this 3-meter square that I'm stood in has got 3 unique words. And therefore, if somebody said, where exactly did you stand? Before What 3 Words, I would vaguely tell somebody, you go on this field might have a name, and you stand roughly here. And then I'd probably scribble on a map and say, you need to be roughly here. Having What 3 Words is such a massive time saver, especially for landscape photography where things don't have an address. This fence post here does not have a postcode. This path here does not have a postcode. It might have a name, but this path might be miles long. So if you're not using What 3 Words, definitely use it. And if you didn't already know, I put in the description of the majority of my videos exactly where I stood and took the photographs. I would like to ask a favour of you, please. If you are one of these people that are proper explorers, you go out to very remote locations, how do you go about it? Do you do just research? You know the lay of the land, so therefore you're very comfortable, you don't think you're going to get lost? Or do you just take OS maps with you? Do you take an app with you and then do you just save it offline? So even if you do lose your phone signal, you've got a certain amount of maps saved on your phone. Good old fashioned just stopping and asking people how to get to certain places, you could do that. Although I've not met a single person out this morning. The other option I was toying with is whether or not to get some sort of GPS watch, like a Garmin or something like that. I don't know, I need your help. Tell me, those of you out there that do this properly, what's your solution? Thank you. Okay, although we've got no light at all, you can see that this scene has a lot of potential. You've got a chalky white path leading in, you've got lots of overlapping hills. If that were to be side-lit, this scene would look incredible. I'll grab a snapshot here so that you can see what it's like, and I'll probably just tag the What 3 Words so that I can return on a better day. Okay, I have reached my end destination. This isn't a wide angle shot, so essentially I've got the crops of the field leading you up to the top of the hill, and in the background the trees there, that is Edburton Hill, and then this is the general composition. So I'll take a few photographs with my 24-105, which is just about long enough. You need to be around 100mm upwards, and then I think just stood here you've got a couple of compositions. This is the sort of thing I look for, where you've got land hitting one another. Obviously this just looks really dull right now because there's no light. However, that's the whole point of scouting out locations. You come to a place like this and you think, yes, definitely need to return when the light is good. It might just happen. Come on, sunlight, out you come. Look at this, it's kicking off. Look, just as I'm packing up, this is what they give me. Look! Now, I've been to this location, stood here once before, but the difference is that we drove here and then we walked about a mile from the car park. Now, because of the OS map, I've figured out how to cycle here from my house, and I reckon it's actually a bit quicker. Now, the old me would turn around and cycle back the way that I came from. However, the OS map says, actually, there's a shorter route that way. That way is the unknown. That way I've come from, I know how to get back home. This way, never been that way, that is how I'm getting home. Now, as you know, I cannot make a YouTube video without publishing some photographs. So here's a selection of images that I got from this location the first time that I visited, and if I come back after this, I'll throw those in as well. Okay, please, please, please let me know in the comments down below how you're navigating new locations, whether you're using apps, maps, or whether you're using some sort of GPS system. Let me know, much appreciated. Right, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.